John Walker has officially become the most misunderstood character in the MCU. The moment John put on that helmet, the internet had already decided that this guy was a joke. And yeah, that first appearance, it was rough. But that's what makes the writing for him so good. They knew we would hate him. They wanted us to, because by the end, we weren't just judging him. We were judging the system that created him. And no, I'm not justifying what he did. There's actually no way to justify this unless you're a self-righteous moral egoist. The first thing you need to know and understand about John is he is not Captain America. He is a soldier. There is very much a difference. Soldiers trained to know everything they eventually use on the field and follow orders the best they can. And John is the best when it comes to that. Captain America cannot be a soldier because he is not only a pillar of hope, but he is supposed to represent the idea of America. Key word, idea. Truth, justice, resistance, morality, you know, the whole shebang. Just because John falls short as Cap doesn't make him a bad character. It's quite the opposite, actually. He's more relatable than Steve or Sam will ever be. The US government forces responsibility on him because he is a malleable soldier, unlike the previous Cap, who they couldn't control, who was literally on America's most wanted list for 2 years because he stood up for what was right. Captain America can't be upon the government because agendas change, the numbers shift, and if it does, he can't do anything about it because he's under the thumb of someone who doesn't have the same morality that he has. All John does is follow orders, and that's the key to understanding him. Steve Rogers and now Sam Wilson constantly question authority through their morality. Where they bucket the system, John obeys. This use of lethal force was everything taught to John, something he would literally be rewarded for if he weren't representing something bigger than himself. Offing a terrorist is usually celebrated, but publicly beheading a man who already surrendered with a shield that represents something bigger than yourself is not becoming of a superhero. And yes, this is a bad guy. He has killed people. He has tried to kill him. He was a part of the group that killed his best friend. But all that doesn't matter when you are supposed to be better. Captain America isn't judge, jury, and executioner, especially when the criminal surrenders. And trust me, Steve is no saint. We know he has killed many times. But the difference is Steve is fighting combatants of war and battle. They are fighting back. John is just feeding into his vengeance, which is inherently negative, but he's not perfect. And this is what makes John an interesting character. He is not a pillar of justice. How could he be? He's just one of us. We are the selfish people who will put our own personal grief and morality above another's. We can justify Iron Man trying to kill Bucky for killing his parents. It doesn't matter that he was brainwashed. He killed his mom. I would do the same thing. This is the rationale that leads you to believe the wrong actions you are doing is inherently right. The common person can't be a hero like Cap, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, or any character that fights for more than themselves. We can love Punisher and hate John Walker. We can justify John Walker's actions, but say Cap was wrong about the Accord. We are walking contradictions just like John Walker, the soldier who followed orders to the end and ended up at rock bottom because of it. Because the system that he followed his whole life failed him when he was only doing what he was told. Maybe this is why John is hated so much now, because you think he is undeserving of the shield because of his actions, which, mind you, he is, but deep down, we know we'd break the same way. In those same circumstances, do you think you would overcome your fleshly bias and be better? Or would you end up holding the shield covered in blood, still thinking you were the good guy? Well, that doesn't matter much anymore. We the new Avengers, baby!